The Galactic Empire had grown complacent over millennia, their dominance unchallenged, their reach spanning countless star systems. To them, the conquest of Earth was little more than routine expansion. A resource-rich planet on the edge of a neglected spiral arm, inhabited by primitive beings who had barely scratched the surface of interstellar travel. It was an afterthought. In the grand halls of the Imperial Command ship Vorik, the supreme strategist regarded the holographic projection of Earth with disinterest. "A backwater," he said, his voice carrying the bored authority of someone who had orchestrated the subjugation of hundreds of worlds. "Send the usual fleet. Minimal resistance expected. Conserve resources." The officers around him nodded in agreement, their confidence bolstered by reports from scouting probes. These humans were fragmented, divided by nations and ideologies, with technology centuries behind the Empire's standards. They were unremarkable, insignificant, just another planet to add to the Empire's growing list of conquests. But whispers of caution rippled through the lower ranks. A few seasoned officers remembered fragmented tales from trade routes beyond the Empire's reach. Rumors of a species unlike any other, one capable of adapting faster than the galaxy had ever seen. These warnings were dismissed, of course. The Empire did not fear primitive rumors. As the fleet prepared to deploy, a young tactical officer hesitated. "Sir," she ventured, "there are discrepancies in the energy readings from their planet. Their satellite network appears to be far more intricate than expected. Should we investigate further?" The supreme strategist waved her off. "Overkill for a world of savages. Their silence will make this easier." Indeed, Earth's lack of response to the initial scouting probes had been interpreted as fear or ignorance. No declarations of defiance, no attempts at communication, just silence. To the Empire, this was proof of their inferiority. The fleet departed, its sheer size a testament to the Empire's arrogance. Hundreds of ships, bristling with weapons capable of annihilating entire continents, sped through hyperspace toward Earth. The officers aboard exchanged casual bets on how long it would take to secure the planet. Hours? Days? Surely not longer than that. Yet, as they neared Earth's orbit, unease began to settle among the crew. Scans of the planet revealed a strange pattern. Human activity didn't suggest panic or preparation for surrender. Instead, life carried on as usual, almost as if the invaders weren't even there. "What are they doing?" one officer muttered, staring at the live feed of bustling cities, farmers tending fields, and children playing in parks. "Don't they realize what's coming?" "They're too primitive to understand," his superior scoffed. "They probably think we're gods descending from the heavens." The supreme strategist, watching the reports from his command deck, frowned slightly. Something about this silence felt off, but his pride wouldn't allow for hesitation. "Transmit our ultimatum," he ordered. "Let them know their place in the galaxy." And so, the first step toward Earth's conquest began, blind to the storm brewing beneath their feet. The Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace in a synchronized formation, an overwhelming display of power and precision. Massive dreadnoughts hovered in Earth's orbit, their weapons systems locked and primed. The fleet blotted out the stars, casting ominous shadows across the planet below. Humanity looked up in collective awe and fear, their skies dominated by alien war machines. The Empire's ultimatum echoed across the globe, translated into every known language. It was a cold, emotionless message, designed to instill despair. "People of Earth, you are now subjects of the Galactic Empire. Your surrender is non-negotiable. Comply or face annihilation. Resistance will only bring destruction." On the flagship, officers observed Earth's reaction with growing amusement. Humans scrambled in apparent disarray, their media broadcasting images of the fleet, their governments issuing calls for calm. To the aliens, it was the behavior of a species already defeated. The supreme strategist smirked. "Typical primitives," he muttered. They will bow within the hour. Yet, as minutes turned into hours, Earth's response, or lack thereof, began to gnaw at the edges of their confidence. There was no formal surrender, no desperate pleas for mercy. The silence was unnerving. Perhaps they're too frightened to respond, an officer suggested. The strategist nodded. No matter. A demonstration will remind them of their place. He ordered a single missile strike, a pinpoint attack on an uninhabited region, chosen to showcase the fleet's precision and power. The missile descended through Earth's atmosphere in a blazing streak, detonating with a flash visible from orbit. The explosion left a massive crater, sending shockwaves rippling across the surrounding area. News networks captured the devastation, their broadcasts carrying the Empire's message of dominance to every corner of the globe. Still, there was no surrender. Instead, Earth's response remained maddeningly subdued. Military satellites maintained their positions. Civilians continued their daily routines with a mixture of defiance and eerie calm. The aliens began to wonder, was this ignorance, arrogance, or something else entirely? Reports trickled in of encrypted transmissions originating from Earth, signals bouncing between satellites and ground stations. Alien technicians dismissed them as primitive, their contents indecipherable but seemingly unimportant. Background noise, they reported. Nothing of consequence. The fleet's commanders grew restless. Why are they not capitulating? One officer demanded. They should be groveling by now. They're testing our patience, another replied. Perhaps they think we won't follow through on our threats. The supreme strategist decided to escalate. Prepare the next strike. This time we target one of their cities. Let them witness the futility of resistance. His voice was sharp, betraying the first hints of frustration. As the command was relayed, a subtle tension filled the air. Something about Earth's stillness was beginning to unsettle even the most seasoned officers. But their arrogance overshadowed their instincts. After all, they were the Galactic Empire, unstoppable, invincible. What could a primitive species possibly do to challenge them? They would have their answer soon enough. As the Empire's fleet prepared for the next strike, the unthinkable happened. A single, unencrypted broadcast from Earth cut through the void of space, hijacking their communication systems. The voice was calm, firm, and undeniably human. This is Earth. You have made your intentions clear. This will be your only warning. Leave orbit now, or face the consequences. The message was brief, delivered without bravado or desperation. The officers aboard the flagship exchanged incredulous looks. Laughter erupted across the command deck. Is this their idea of defiance? One officer sneered. They're bluffing? But not everyone was so quick to dismiss it. The young tactical officer who had earlier raised concerns about Earth's energy readings leaned closer to her console. Sir, their signal isn't just a broadcast. It's embedded with layers of data we can't decode. This might be enough. The supreme strategist interrupted, his voice laced with contempt. This species doesn't even grasp basic galactic protocol. They think words will save them. Proceed with the attack. Yet, as the fleet's targeting systems locked onto their next objective, something unexpected occurred. Earth's seemingly dormant satellite network came alive. Hundreds of satellites, previously disguised as innocuous communication devices, shifted into formation. Within moments, they unleashed a coordinated barrage of high-intensity electromagnetic pulses. The fleet's systems faltered. Shields flickered and failed. Communications went dark. Some smaller ships veered off course as their navigational systems crashed. The Empire's meticulously ordered formation descended into chaos. What is happening? A panicked officer shouted, his console flooded with error messages. They've disabled our systems, another yelled. Disbelief etched across his face. The strategist stared at the holographic display, his confidence unraveling. Impossible. How could they? Before he could finish, Earth's next move struck with surgical precision. Stealth drones, undetectable until now, emerged from low orbit and targeted the fleet's most vulnerable points. Railguns mounted on these drones fired projectiles at hypersonic speeds, piercing the hulls of even the Empire's most formidable ships. Explosions rippled through the fleet, each one a testament to humanity's mastery of unconventional warfare. The supreme strategist's composure shattered. How did they develop such technology? This level of sophistication, it's not possible. It's not just the technology, the young tactical officer said, her voice trembling. It's their strategy. They've been planning for this. Across the fleet, officers scrambled for answers. How had Earth, a planet they deemed primitive, managed to mount such a devastating counterattack? It was as if humanity had been anticipating this moment for decades, quietly preparing for the day they would face an invader from the stars. The humans' assault was relentless. Every move was calculated, every strike designed to exploit the Empire's arrogance. Ships that tried to retreat found themselves trapped by Earth's advanced jamming technology, while those that attempted to regroup were dismantled by coordinated drone swarms. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire was losing a battle. And for the first time, they realized why the rest of the galaxy had whispered warnings about Earth. Humanity wasn't just defending their home. They were sending a message. The remnants of the once mighty fleet limped away from Earth's orbit, their ships battered and their pride shattered. What was meant to be an effortless conquest had turned into a devastating defeat. On the flagship, the supreme strategist sat in silence, his earlier arrogance replaced by a grim realization. He watched the planet below as it continued to rotate peacefully, seemingly unfazed by the chaos it had unleashed. "We underestimated them," he finally admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. Around him, the bridge was in disarray, officers scrambling to restore systems, their faces pale with fear and disbelief. Earth had not merely defended itself, it had sent a clear and terrifying message. The humans hadn't relied on brute force or technological superiority. Instead, they had exploited the Empire's weaknesses with precision and creativity, turning their arrogance against them. In the days that followed, reports of the battle spread through the Empire, sowing seeds of unease among its ranks. Whispers of humanity's ingenuity and unpredictability reached distant corners of the galaxy. They were no longer seen as a backwater species, but as a potential threat, a force capable of toppling even the most dominant power. On Earth, humanity celebrated its victory quietly. There were no grand parades, no public displays of triumph. Instead, leaders, scientists, and military strategists convened behind closed doors, preparing for the inevitable. They knew this victory had painted a target on their backs. The galaxy now knew what they were capable of, and it was only a matter of time before another power tested them. Humanity's resilience was not born of arrogance, but of necessity. For centuries, they had lived with the knowledge that they were not alone in the universe. Old signals and faint alien transmissions had hinted at the existence of other civilizations, some far more advanced than their own. Earth had prepared in silence, investing in defense technologies, studying alien strategies, and crafting plans to ensure their survival against an inevitable threat. A global broadcast was made in the wake of the Empire's retreat. It was brief, just as the first message had been, but its words carried a weight that resonated across the galaxy. To the Galactic Empire, and to all who may be watching, Earth seeks no war and desires no conquest. But let it be known, we will not be subjugated. Any who come with violence will face the same fate. This is your only warning. The message echoed through the galactic networks, reaching allies and enemies alike. To some, it was a declaration of defiance. To others, it was a warning to be heeded. Back in the Empire, the supreme strategist made a grim decision. Blacklist Earth, he ordered. No further contact. No further attempts at conquest. His words were met with stunned silence, but no one dared to challenge him. As the fleet disappeared into the void, Earth remained, steadfast and vigilant, a quiet beacon of strength in a galaxy that now regarded it with a mixture of fear and respect. Humanity had proven its worth, and the galaxy would never see them the same way again.